large amount of quantity is going to trump a small amount of high quality. Quantity is going to determine how fast you create that branding effect. In this lesson, I want to give you a briefing on all the equipment that you're going to need in order to produce video. It's going to be intense. Get ready. I'm going to show you now, okay? This is all you need right now. I don't want you guys to go into an analysis paralysis as to when it comes to how should I create content? Do it needs to be super high tech? Do I need to do like all kinds of lighting and all kinds of devices? One thing that I believe in, that I've seen it successful and I have applied it to be successful for over the last several years, is doing a lot more quantity and worrying about quality later on. Quality is something that you develop along the way. Quantity is more important because most people get paralyzed in the subject of how to produce quality content. And they also start thinking about how it used to be. You had to bring in a video editor and pay them $20,000 to produce a video for you. That right now is not as necessary as it used to be. Because if you're not doing, always keep in mind that there's another 1,000 competitors that are actually doing it. As simple as that. They use devices like this. They use Android devices, iPhones. They use simple setups in order to produce quality, nice content to distribute it in abundance. So that's one thing that I want you guys to understand. You don't need something really fancy. I have been growing my business and the business of a lot of people that I help with very raw content. Because the thing is, guys, that also something else that I want you to keep in mind is that we are in a social media world in which people are connecting with brands, with personal brands and companies that they can relate to. So when something is extremely high quality and that's all they get, you don't get to get that human reaction, that human connection. So in my opinion, large amount of quantity is going to trump a small amount of high quality. Quantity is going to determine how fast you create that branding effect. So I would say that you have to figure out how to start grabbing that cell phone, whatever cell phone that you have, hopefully something, iPhone 7 or more, or a good Android, and start recording your life when it comes to your brand, new products that are coming out, new brands, things that you're accomplishing, shipments that are going to Amazon, or new developments that you have, new news, people that are enjoying the use of your product, success stories, and all that stuff can simply be recorded with a phone and start being put on the massive distribution channels of this planet. So I want to give you on this lesson, just for your evaluation, some of the most important things to take into account when you're creating video content. What are the important things that you need to pay attention to when you're talking about grabbing your phone and recording stuff or taking pictures? One thing that you should know is that your camera, your device that you have in your hands is more powerful than what the president of the United States had in the 1960s to control the free world. So those devices are incredibly powerful for you to create a good production that allows you to communicate a message. So let's talk about best practices. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the important things to take into account. Now, mobile consumption on your own devices is faster than on a television or anywhere else, or a magazine. So whatever you are doing when you're producing video, keep in mind that the first 15 seconds of your video are the most important ones. So at the beginning of your videos, you need to make sure that you put your branding in there. Your logos, your name. If you're talking, you need to make sure that you let them know where you're from right away, who you are, what is your brand, what is your connection to the world immediately, because it's been shown that people on average right now, after 10 seconds, they move on to the next piece of content if you don't pull them in. So it's important for you to pull them in those first few seconds. Pay attention to that. Always your driving, most important branding points need to be in the beginning of the video. You have to also, another important thing when it comes to the video creation is that you have to design for sound off, but the light with sound on. What does that mean? That when you are designing your video, you can actually record a simple video on your phone, upload it on your computer, and you can use a tool like, I'm gonna give you guys some resources on this, but you can use a tool like Camtasia that is going to allow you to put captions on the video. It's going to allow you to put graphics on it and very simple things. For now, just understand that it's very, very simple, but you have to think about when you're creating content that the world in Facebook and on Instagram is being consumed without audio. A lot of people are watching videos without ever playing the sound. So whatever you're putting out there, make sure that you always put closed caption on it, which is very simple to add, and also making it very visual, showing people what you're talking about, making your brand front and center on whatever it is your message. Very, very important. One important thing is also like your story has to be positioned in a way that makes sense when you're creating a video. Always, before you start recording, picture what you're going to talk about. Imagine the whole thing. And before you press play, make sure that you know exactly how you're going to end. How is your message going to end on that video? How are you going to start it? What is it going to be about? And then how are you going to end this particular video? On the Business Manager on Facebook, there's a tool which is called the Creative Hub. For those of you that already are using Facebook, this tool is like $1 billion software that we've been given access to for free that allows you to have you and your team collaborate on creation projects of ads, whether it is a single image or a series of images or a canvas ad or whatever it is. You can create everything in there, and then before you publish them, have people work with you and collaborate with you. I'm gonna show you guys some really ninja stuff about that later on. But for now, I want you guys to have those guidelines. And one important thing to pay attention to when it comes to driving results with ads is that as you guys know, Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger, all three of them are consumed vertically, not horizontally. Don't pay attention to anybody telling you to flip your phone horizontally because the videos are being consumed vertically. So whatever you record, keep your phone vertical because when people are consuming that on their newsfeed, if they click on it, it goes full screen and they consume it. You have the entire screen to get your message to them. If you actually record something horizontally, you're not going to be able to enjoy the full experience as you do with a full screen experience on the vertical recordings. So on your phone, you can actually record things on a ratio which is 4:5, meaning the aspect ratio is a vertical ratio that when you publish it on Facebook, for example, Facebook Lives are vertical recordings. When you publish them on Facebook, they can open up full screen and the experience is amazing. This works really well for Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram. Those are some important guidelines for you to follow, and keep in mind that a vertical recording is what you want to go after and nothing else than that.